Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube, and Twitter is sending us strange messages. So here's a new thing that Twitter's promoting called See Every Side campaign, and it's all about the GOAT. Who is the GOAT? Abby Wambach and Shaquille O'Neal joined the debate in Twitter Spot. They're promoting this as the GOAT being an acronym for greatest of all time. But I want to show you what I believe they're really putting out there. If you're familiar with my channel, you know we talk about this subject a lot, that we're living in a time right now where all truth is coming out. Primarily the truth of this satanic control system that we find ourselves living in. The hidden controllers, or the Illuminati, which consists of multiple secret societies, the people running things behind the scenes, are trying to move us into a new world order, a one world religion, a one world monetary system, a one world leader. All of this has been prophesied in the Bible. And over the last decade, they've really been stepping up their game and pushing us towards this satanic system. So we're dealing with predictive programming. Even in some of the most subtle ways, they're trying to get us familiar with these different terms, with these different ideas. Ultimately, they want us all to literally worship the devil. And as the devil goes by many names, it also comes in many different forms. The GOAT just happens to be one of those forms. The GOAT is a very common manifestation in the occult, witchcraft, Satanism of the devil itself. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So most of us understand that truly everything is run by secret societies. And Freemasonry certainly has a major role to play in world politics and even the entertainment industry, and really every industry. Even looking here at the United Grand Lodge of England coat of arms, we see the hooved angels, just another representation of the GOAT. We also find many representations and artistic depictions of the GOAT connected with the Freemasons, or the Baphomet. The Grand Lodge in session. Are you a Mason with the goats? It's fine to be a Mason. The password, don't tell the wife, but again the goats. Are you a Mason? The test, we have the goat. Someone riding the goat, once again the Masons. Riding the goat again, the Masons. And again, riding the goat, and the Masons. And the list goes on and on. Right? So we see the connection of the goat to the lodge, right? The Baphomet, okay, the goat god of the Masons. And now we look at how they familiarize us, the public, through stories like this, the goat renaissance, how pop culture learned to love the devilish-looking creatures. Male goats are basically drunk frat guys. The fabulous Beekman boys have been promoting their lifestyle brand, but their goats are the stars of the show. And there are multiple examples of this, but I'm sharing a few. Here's another one from just a few years ago, the rising popularity of the goat. And in this article, they're not talking about farming. They're talking about the goat in popular culture. And of course, it's through pop culture that they introduce the public to a lot of these occult and satanic ideas. For instance, this video game called Goat Simulator just came out a few years ago. It's very popular. And it's a video game, right? So it's got to be harmless. But it turns out that this is one of the most satanic video games out there. This game is not only just filled with satanic symbolism, and of course, back to the Baphomet, showing the satanic goat god, but there's also ritual sacrifices that take place in this game. This is an actual screenshot from the game, where one of the things you need to do is go grab these people, kill them, and basically sacrifice them at all 5 points of this pentagram. So once again, I'm showing you this so you understand this is how they bring the public into more of these satanic ideas. They place it in a video game, which seems innocuous enough. It's just a video game, right? Meanwhile, it's imprinting us with these images and with these ideas. So once again, we find many truths in pop culture, and This right here is a story from a movie that was called The Witch. It just came out just over a year ago. Now this is one of the freakiest movies I've ever seen, but as it says right here, why are goats associated with the devil like Black Phillip and the Witch? And they draw some of the same conclusions I've come to as well. I mean, there's a history of this. There's a historical connection with witchcraft, Satanism, and the goats, or the Baphomet. And in this film, there's a goat they call Black Phillip, who really is the embodiment of Satan himself. And here's an example right here, once again, of how many people can get programmed by this kind of stuff. Black Phillip has his own Twitter. He's got over 10,000 followers. And as you can see in the picture below, once again, he's the embodiment of Satan himself. This is an example of the programming that people are under and how many people fall right into it. It's just pop culture. It's a movie, right? And here's another example of how we can see this programming is actually having a big effect. Satanism is no longer something that's hidden away and no one talks about. I mean, we're seeing mainstream stories like this. Student Satanists announced lamb sacrifice and a Bible burning at Clemson University. Once again, the programming has been incredibly effective on some people. And this right here is from the article, a poster on campus attributed to a student organization calling themselves the Clemson Unorthodox Neo-Satanic Temple, or CUNT, announced plans to perform the ceremony at the CUNT Afterlife Party on March 11th. No location was specified. The poster contains imagery associated with Satanism like pentagrams and an illustration of the goat-headed Baphomet. So I'll scroll down, you can see some of this. And there's the goat, right? And it goes on to state that a live lamb will be provided for sacrifice by their friends at the Clemson Collegiate Farm Bureau. A Bible torching ceremony is listed as part of the proceedings, with a cash prize for the student who burns the most Bibles. And in case you're wondering, this was a real story. This is something they really planned on doing. And it's just another example of how people have been conditioned into these satanic ideas, these occult ideas, and it's becoming much more mainstream. And here's just another example I'll share with you about how people are being conditioned into these ideas and how it's becoming more normal. Most of us that research these things know that bloodletting, blood sacrifice, blood drinking, it's a big part of these rituals. There is power in the blood. Right here's a mainstream story. Dracula was onto something. Transfusions of young blood may protect against Alzheimer's, heart disease, and cancer. Groundbreaking research on humans shows. And here's just another example of many I could show you, but the hottest new beauty trend is your blood. So again, this is all becoming mainstream and normalized. Meanwhile, this is something that the occultists, the Satanists, the witches have been doing for centuries. Which brings us back to the symbolic idea of the goat. This isn't the greatest of all time. Although that could have another meaning as well, because a lot of these people, these occultists, these Satanists, they worship the goat in that respect. So maybe we should take a look at Shaquille O'Neal and Abby Wambach. So if you didn't already know, Shaquille O'Neal is a Freemason. So we know when he talks about the goat, I believe he knows exactly what he's talking about. It's one message to the public, but it's something entirely different to those that are informed, the illuminated ones. And then here's Abby Wambach with her friend Caitlyn Jenner. And here they are again. And it's very interesting what's taking place here. I don't know if Abby's a part of the Eastern Star, and I don't know for sure whether or not Jenner's a part of the Masons, but I wouldn't be surprised. He did live with a coven of witches for many years, after all. Let's take a look at what's really taking place here. This is that gender fluidity, right? It's the she-male, the tranny. Abby, born a female, but portraying herself as a male, and then Bruce Jenner, born a male and portraying himself as a female. Which brings us to the goat, the Baphomet. The Baphomet is a tranny. The Baphomet is a she-male. So now it all comes full circle. So Twitter really is sending us strange messages. It's just another mechanism of this New World Order that's normalizing these ideas, programming the public to accept these occult ideas, these satanic ideas. And I'll leave you with that. So thank you very much for checking out the video. I hope this helps clear some things up for you. This kind of stuff is happening around us at all times. We have to be very aware, keep our eyes open, and use that spiritual discernment. Until next time, take care guys, and I'll talk to you a little later.